right? What would it sound like if it was coming out of his mouth and from his heart? Again, it was just kind of a writing experiment, but also something that means something to me. So, they live in this place called Hometown, West Virginia. That is the name. It's called Hometown, West Virginia. It's a real place, and it's right there on the river. And they lived a very wonderful and simple life, and it was really about their love, centered around their love. If you've ever driven through the state, you see right there on the sign, they post their slogan, the state slogan, state pride. Their slogan's right there on the state sign when you go into it. It says wild and wonderful, which I think is a great way to describe the state, wild and wonderful. It's also a really good way to describe the kind of woman that Betsy was. And I think that if Joe had some words to say about his girl, they'd have to sound like him. They'd have to sound like this.
This river is my hometown. It's the place where I settled down. It's all I've ever known. From the hollow to the hills, where the whole of my soul is still. You're wild and wonderful. It's all within our reach, how simple our life could be. Vacation at the beach, we'll have a boy or maybe 3. I'll deliver the mail, and you run the corner store. This river is our hometown. It's the place where we settle down. You're all I've ever known. From the hollow to the hills, I'm in awe of your beauty still. You're wild and wonderful. The years appear as boats. I watch them as they go, and I'm reminded by the winding road that once around that bend, I'm turning once again.
Joe and Betsy are actually my wife's grandparents. And when Betsy passed away, it was a couple weeks later. I was on a tour down south, and I was starting to come home and went through West Virginia. I started seeing the signs that I recognized when we go home to see her family there. So I started thinking about Joe, how he was doing. I called my wife, and I asked. She said he's doing fine. We went to visit him, and he was sitting there in front of the television eating a loaf of bread for dinner. And I could not picture anything more sad, because, and not to be too gender role specific, but they're like old school grandma and grandpa. So I'm sure the guy knows how to make a sandwich, but I bet he hasn't had to make a sandwich in 57 years, you know.
This house is empty now, and I eat my daily bread. All is calm, and yet somehow your laughter fills my head. If only a dream. I pray, Lord, don't let me wait. This river is my hometown. It's the place where we lay